All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Please turn off your videos and mute yourself. Okay, we are ready to get started. Thank you for joining us. I'm Natalie Delgado, I'm the Outreach Director here at Louisiana School for the Deaf. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight for our Family Workshop series. And now we have a presenter, Vanessa Magnon, and she is the project coordinator for LCD, Louisiana Commission for the Deaf. So we're excited to have her here tonight. Vanessa, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Hello, I'm Vanessa Magnon, and I work for Louisiana Commission for the Deaf as a project coordinator, and I myself am deaf. I just started working for LCD in August, and I'm very excited to be here to share this presentation with y'all. Okay, so during this presentation, we asked the audience to continue to keep your video off and keep yourself muted. And during the presentation, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. At the end of the presentation, Vanessa will answer your questions. If there are no other questions before we get started, I'll go ahead and let Vanessa share her screen. Okay, I see that it's just the interpreter and me showing the screen. All right. See, the title for today is the Telecommunications Equipment Program, which we're going to be talking about tonight with you. And this is one of the programs under Louisiana Commission for the Deaf. As you see on this slide, Jana Broussard is pictured. She's the interim director for LCD. She started working about 1.5 years ago now. And that's me. I just started working there in August, so it's only been about 6 months, but time flies. Any questions, if you're not sure about, or you see me unable to answer a question, just know that I'm new to this job and I appreciate your patience. What does LCD do? Of course, we have the deaf community, hard of hearing community, and also those who have speech disorders. It's important that we give them full access to programs and services to help them experience the world. We don't want them to miss a thing. That's the goal. And we also work closely with members all over the community. And we have a beautiful state and we like to collaborate, just like with Louisiana School for the Deaf, Louisiana Commission for the Deaf, we work together. And I'm very excited about this. So goals are for LCD to, of course, allow everyone to have access to communication. And if it so happens that there is no communication, like no interpreter at a doctor's office or the courthouse, or any place that does not provide an interpreter by Americans with Disabilities Act requirement, LCD would provide the interpreter for one time and instruct them to please from that point forward get an interpreter. So we make sure that they have access. Also, we want to strongly encourage the community to be a part of society. And whatever they have as far as their potential, use it. And that will help the community thrive. Not only that, but LCD will also improve their programs to meet everyone else's needs. Also for LCD, they provide 4 different programs or services. We have the telecommunications equipment program, like I'll share with you today, the hearing aid program, interpreting services, and SSP, which is a support service provider, a deafblind guide to make sure a deafblind person has access. The hearing aids are for those who are 50 and older. It's not a benefit for all of you. The phone equipment, yes, is for any age. We want to provide telephone equipment readily accessible for you all to use at home. The deaf school has this. Any school program has video phones, and even TTYs, which I'll explain more about that soon. All of the services we may not give directly. We have 9 regions in the state of Louisiana. And in those regions, there are centers that work with us. And so at those locations, in those regions, they give the equipment directly to those people who live in that region. So each location has a center. If you live in Baton Rouge, you would go to the center where they provide services for deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing people who have, and then also those who have speech difficulties. They have all of the services to provide. So if you're wondering and would like to know more information about the Americans with Disabilities Act and LCD, you can go to the website, LCD's website, and I will show you what that looks like. Oh, never mind. So never mind. I am going to make sure that I share the link with you at the end of the meeting. Thank you for your patience. And so this is where I will copy and paste this into the chat room at the end. And you can see that. And really yourself, you could go to Louisiana Commission for the Deaf and you could click on the many, many resources and information, you know, your region, plus the officers of governors and disabilities office, GODA. There is a lot of information there. As far as questions, I'll hold that till the end. So there are different types of equipment. There's amplifier telephones. There is captioned phones, teletypewriters, that's a TTY, and notification systems, so they can know where sounds are coming from. For this, the phone, it really is conducive for people who have up to 50 decibels of hearing remaining, and it's good for those who are hard of hearing or became deaf late in life. They can use this. So you can see it's a different phone. There's another one like this. It's pretty big. So you see the light, it makes a noise and it says the number, and you can press to amplify your own voice so the person can hear you better, or the person speaking, you can have them, their audio increase the volume. And so if you know you tend to talk to that person again and again, there's a speed dial feature. And so you can assign a number to a person. There's caller ID. Let's see, what else? They even have Bluetooth features. You can see the cordless phone where you don't need a cord, but you can also click on this machine to switch over to a Bluetooth where you could use your cell phone instead. So that's really cool. And then there's the regular phone has a machine. that you can plug into, which will give more sound that the phone doesn't have, like a phone like this. It's really loud and it's good for people who can hear up to 50 decibels. So this phone is really cool. It has captions, and this is for a person who can speak but can't hear. So they would talk to the person, but they had to press caption first. So here you can see this phone, you'll have to press caption first. So that connects to a company and gets a captionist on the line. So then I call the person directly who I want to speak with. And the captionist is on the line and will type what the person says. So I can see it. That's really cool. I can see it captioned and I can talk using my own voice to someone. Now this is a really, really old technology. It's a TTY. It's typing only. You don't have to talk, you don't have to hear or anything, but you do have to have a house line, of course, like the other phone, you have to have a landline. So this phone is a little bit different. You have to have your phone and then you pick it up off the hook and then connect it to the TTY. It relates to sound in some way. It's a really cool technology. Like it can hear what the person is typing and sends that message to another person who has the TTY. Well, you have to tell that person after you speak, you have to say, go ahead, which we say GA. And then that indicates that it's their turn. And when you're finished with the conversation, you type SK, means stop keying. Well, you have to leave your phone off the hook onto the TTY the entire time that you're having a conversation. And when you're finished, you pick up the phone and you hang it up. But there's another way you can use this phone. If you don't feel like typing or talking with a person, it would be called voice carry over. And so I put the phone on and then directly call the relay and tell them I want to talk to this person and tell them that I want to use VCO, voice carryover. So relay will say, okay, fine. So they won't type anything. I will not type anything. So the person I'm speaking with, what they say will go directly to the TTY, but I can speak to them directly. That's another option. So for any of you who feel uncomfortable typing, that's fine. You can talk if you feel comfortable enough. And this is great for those who live in rural areas because the internet is not always so good to use another technology. This is good to have. Okay, so we have 3 different pictures. As you can see here, the first one you see is called a Clarity Alert Master notification system, and it has 6 different features. You can see here it says like door knock, phone ring. When you get up and wake up in the morning, there's an alarm clock sound. There's also different sounds like, an unknown sound. And movement, like if a chair falls and you feel that movement, it will go off and light up. It's really cool. And so it tells you, of course, by flashing a light. And also there's the vibra call, such as this. And you put this vibra underneath your pillow or your couch, your sofa, where you tend to lie down and sleep. That's where you would put it under, and then you could feel the vibration. For whatever sound is happening, you'll feel the vibration under you. And when someone's knocking, they would, instead of using a knock on the door, they would use this doorbell. They would press this button, and then there's this. It's the same idea where you've got this. You press the button, and then Okay, see the light flash? Oh gosh, that's loud. So you see that? That's a good way to catch your attention. And then to feel the vibration, it won't stop until I press off. And this doorbell is really good to have.
And the next picture that we have is the square glow. That's the white one. It has different color settings. For an example, if you have purple, you know that that's someone's knocking at the door. When the purple light flashes, someone's knocking at the door. If you see a pink light flashing, then that could be a phone, the phone ringing. And you decide what color goes with notification. It can be a reminder. It can be a way to get your attention. Most deaf people, hard of hearing people use the first one. The second one is newer. It really just depends on individual preference, but the first one is the most commonly used one. You see the one that is black, a black square? It looks like a pager. This one here, it goes in a pouch, you wear it on your waistband. It's good for people who are deaf and blind. You can connect to the device I did you here. Someone rings the doorbell, it would cause a vibration. Same idea, square glow with the light settings, the different light settings. With this one, it might vibrate one time. That would alert you that someone's knocking at the door. Whereas if it vibrated twice, it could be the phone ringing. And again, you get to set up how you want it to vibrate depending on what alert. This one is an old one, but it is good for you to see it and be aware of what it is. Because where you live, you can reach out to the town consolidation or the fire department. You can reach out to them and see if they're able to provide you with free fire alarm. It's the same kind of thing where it can vibrate, this little disc here. You can put it under your bed, or where you typically sleep is where you usually use this while you're sleeping. And you would have a strobe light. And in Lafayette Parish, the fire department got it. And so they were able to give out these devices to people who lived in Lafayette Parish for free. Those who lived outside of Lafayette Parish, though, did not qualify. They had to live specifically in that parish. But if you are interested in one for your house, go ahead and reach out to the city constellation, the fire department, and see if they possibly have received a grant, the same kind of grant. It won't hurt to ask. I believe it was in 2018 or 2019 or so when Lafayette Parish received those and gave them out. There is a company by the name of Harris Communications. When you go on their website, they will take you to Diglow, where you can see different equipment, where you can order equipment. If LCD does not provide it already, they have a much more extensive list of equipment. And you can see a free catalog. Harris Communication usually gives you that free catalog. I'm not sure about Diglow, but you can check out their website and see if they do offer a free catalog. We are going to talk about relay services. So there's different relay services. It could be video phones, it could be TTYs, it could be captioning. So I have several names of different companies that provide relay services. These are the more common, well-known services within the deaf community. Sorensen, ZVRS, Purple, Convo. Those are the ones most commonly used within the deaf community. There are others out there, but these are the most well-known ones. You see that there's for TTY, for caption phones. Just like I explained to you earlier with the TTY, that's with a relay interpreter. You can speak through a relay interpreter to a third person. So if I were speaking, the interpreter would be the second person, and then the person I'm speaking to is a third person. Now, the interpreter or the relay operator, they are just relaying conversations. They are not interjecting their personal opinion. They're not participating in the conversation. Now with texting, you can upload Sprint IP. It doesn't have Sprint, it can be IP relay company. You can upload an app on your phone and use texting instead of using a video phone. If you don't have a video phone, then that's an option. Hamilton Relay, that is good for captioning on the phone. Like I explained to you, where you have the phone, the telephone system, and you push the button that says caption, that would route you to a relay service at Hamilton, where a person would be typing what is being said. Now we're going to talk about a child who, in the face of an emergency, can place a call. So of course, what you have to do first is be able to call 911 on the phone. So a deaf child needs to be explained what emergency could be. And they might have to text. And the child would have to let you know what they feel comfortable using, whether they're deaf, deafblind. Today, there's so many people that are using phones. This is a good way to teach a child how to use a phone. If in case you were not at home, or perhaps if you were driving and you had a child with you who knew how to use the phone, if anything were to happen to you, like if you passed out behind the wheel, if you were unconscious and you're not able to place a call to 911, the child would know what to do using the phone and texting 911. And that could save your life. Next, we're going to talk about the TTY and how a child can learn to use the TTY to call 911. As you see the picture here, of course, they would have to type 911, place the receiver of the telephone on the TTY device, dial 911, and there they would be routed to dispatch, and the interpreter would be there giving information, the relay operator. And of course, the child would have to be able to type what's happening, what the emergency is, and have to know the home address. But if a child doesn't remember the home address, if they're too young to remember that, there could be a piece of paper near the phone with the address. That way, when the child is asked, they have it and they're able to type the address. And of course, they have to know not to take the receiver off of the TTY device, but to wait until first responders arrive before they do that. Same with people who are hearing and using a regular telephone. They wait until first responders arrive before they hang up. And now using relay service. When a video phone is installed in your home, It's very important to have a profile with your name and your home address, contact information, all of that ready. And then when it does come to an emergency and the child goes to the phone and calls 911 on the video phone, if the child is able to sign, they can sign and the interpreter would see them and they can tell the interpreter what's happening. And again, what's important is the child is instructed to leave the video phone on until first responders, the police, have arrived. So when the interpreter sees the person explaining the situation, the emergency, they're already going to have the name. It's already programmed under the profile that goes with the video phone, name, the address, and all of that. So the person calling 911 would not necessarily have that information. It's nice. But with texting or with the TTY, they would have to give the information, the address, the name. So you can see the picture here and how that works with the video phone. You have the deaf person who has the remote control in their hand for the video phone. They're calling, they wait, they see the interpreter. That's the second picture. And the interpreter connects with the person and relays the information. I'm going to hold off on these links until the end. Wavelo, that's how you sign Wavelo. It is, you have to upload an app onto your phone. And your video phone is already, with some companies, I believe Sorensen already has this on their video phones, and not other video phone companies. But once you upload Wavelo on your phone, the person who you want to speak to has to have that app on their phone. So the deaf video phone user would call the hearing person. The deaf person would see the interpreter and they would tell them, I want to use Wavelo. And then the interpreter would connect to the person you're calling, the hearing person. And the interpreter would tell them that they have been asked to use the Wavelo app. So when they open it, the deaf person would be able to see the interpreter and also the hearing person. I would be able to see them both. We would be able to see each other. It used to be that the person I'm calling would only hear the interpreter's voice, but now we would be able to see each other, myself and the person that I'm speaking with. So I can see their facial expressions, body language, they can see mine. So it just helps with the communication. It's really amazing. And then the next link, how to call 911, is videos with role playing, which is good for children to watch and practice. And I'll explain more about that later. And I already explained to you about how to use voice carryover, or VCO. That's when you have like the TTY, and you would tell the interpreter that I want to see what the person is saying. It would show up on my TTY.
Okay, so this you see is titled Deaf Child's Rights. The best time to teach that is elementary age. It's the perfect time. I myself learned all of these resources, captions on the TV, about my phone, resources late when I was in middle school. So I really missed out. I wish I had had some of those features when I was younger. So you see hands-on activities. What this means is to be visual. Have the child with you, sit down with them and teach them so they can look and see what you're doing so they can copy. The more they practice, they will become more skilled and know what to do and how to advocate for themselves and be comfortable making calls themselves. What's important is that a deaf person, a deaf role model comes to your house, and a parent can watch and see what they do with the child in demonstrating how to use the phone and all of the features. And then that means that once you've seen it, you're next, because you're the child's teacher too. You know, over on the nights and weekends, it's you. The deaf role model is not going to your house every day. They come and they show the equipment and that's it. But you can teach and teach the child. Also, school teaches fire drills, lockdowns, and it's the same thing that should happen at home with families. You should gather and talk about what we should do and where we should go to a safe place if this were to happen. Where do we communicate if this were to happen? If there's an emergency, the child needs to know all of that for safety and making sure that they're okay, that their family's okay, and also have access to communication so they can fully know what's going on. In teaching how to use the video phone, like I said, using the remote, showing the child, see the remote, you press this and then look at the TV and you can see what happens. You see an interpreter comes up or the phone number needs to go in. So you can see that conversation with the interpreter or calling a friend or a family member. Some families have video phones so the child can call their cousin or family member or their aunt, their uncle, and see each other directly. And that is amazing. They could even expose them more to their own language, expose them to their language that they're using, just like hearing children communicate on the phone or with their parents, just like this is the same idea we want to have for opportunities for deaf children to talk with their family members. And they can call their grandparents or whoever they want. They can even call their friends. So this language is just great. I remember that when I first got my TTY, I was 13. I was in middle school at that time, and I got a TTY and was just amazed and so excited that I was going to be able to talk with my friends. I saw words and I didn't know some of those words. I asked my mom, what do these mean? So then that grew my vocabulary. So I was exposed to more and more language using the TTY, and I learned a lot more as time went on. And now we have texting, we have video phones, we have FaceTime. Technology has just has boomed. I wanted to tell you a little funny story that happened a long time ago, but I think it's funny now. It wasn't funny to me back then. So I was working at night and students were going to a recreation center to play a board game, or some of them were watching movies and some were playing basketball, and this is all in the same building. So all of a sudden the supervisor calls us, all of us, to go to one place, and so we're all sitting in rows, and the supervisor has a police, a firefighter, I think it was the three of them. Right, so the three of them are at the front of all of us. There's students and staff, and the supervisor said, hey, everybody, have any of you all called 911? And we all look at each other quietly, looking at each other, wondering, and no one spoke up. No one spoke up. So the supervisor was not happy and called us to go over to the dorm so we could no longer have any more fun. So we all went back to the dorm, and a student, I guess everybody was watching a movie or something, and one student seemed a little bit restless. And I said, hey, are you okay? And the student says, no, I'm not okay. I said, what's the matter? And they said, with my friends, we went to a payphone, where you put money into a payphone. And they were talking about, a dare. Why don't we try to see, without any coins, if we could press 911? And it actually worked. And the police and the firefighter came and they wondered what was going on. The supervisor said there was no call. So the student felt so bad and thought that it wouldn't work, but it sure did. And that's a good lesson, that you have to teach your child know what not to do, and the difference between an actual emergency and what is not an emergency, you know? And I think it's funny now. Wow. So looking back, so that is really an important lesson. It really depends on parents, teachers, deaf role models, and a person to teach a student how to use the phone. Today, it's like middle school and on, maybe in elementary more so today, they've got their own cell phones and they have video phones at home. While I was working in the elementary dorm, there was a new student, and I showed them the video phone and what that was like. And they said they wanted to call their parents. So I said, okay, come over here, sit next to me. And I showed how to call their parents. And they called mom and dad. And they got so excited because they missed home and they wanted to call their parents. And they talked and talked. They ended up talking every night before the student went to bed, and said, hey, mom, and I want to talk to mom and dad on the video phone. You know, it's, and some students don't have a video phone at home. So they try at the dorm for the first time and they tell mom and dad, hey, I want a video phone at home. And it's a good way to see each other while the student's at the dorm. And there's less of just like missing mom, missing home. So the video phone is really great. Let me see what else we have. Yes, so this is the LCD information. If you want to reach out to us with any questions, bring them on, contact me or Jana. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you all. If you all have any questions, let me know. I'm here. Okay, thank you, Vanessa. So we're going to go ahead and do some questions, and let's see if we have any in the chat. I'll copy those links for you while I'm waiting for you. Okay, Vanessa, I have a question from an LSD staff, Misty Flowers, and has asked if the area doesn't have services with text 911. She said in order for a child to be able to text 911 from their phone or iPad, would that area they live in have to have that service? Your iPad or device has to have an app that you actually download. So the phone actually has to have the app, the phone or the iPad. And you can have this anywhere. Vanessa, I want to add something really fast. I know that Misty's child signs. So if your child signs, you can download the app on the iPad or phone, or get a video phone from a specific company of your choosing, and the app is on the phone. You can call 911 in using sign language through video as well. And also, the person goes to your house and sets up a video phone. That person can also set up the app on your phone or iPad. But also remember that it depends on where you live. If it's very rural, you may have to use your house phone. The internet is not always the best. So that is the only thing I can think of. Kat Ajito asked a question, what is the name of the app for text 911? Sprint IP relay service. Okay, and then another parent says, hello, this is Capriani Frank Smother. This information was really informative, thank you. And then someone else, so Misty says that I have a video phone from Sorensen that we used in Arkansas. I guess I just need to get them to come out and set it up here in Louisiana. Yes, yes. We have a lot of different video phone companies. If you have not downloaded or gotten a video phone, you can request from the company to get that set up. And then a mother has a question, Jessica has a question. What about the alarm? I'm interested in a fire alarm, but I'm unsure what to get. They don't have the alarm here in Ascension Parish. Yeah, like I said, you can go ahead and contact your city consolation where the mayors are. And if nothing works there, contact the fire department and see if they can get a grant and if that can be provided free for your parish. So there's a couple of options. Also, sorry, I'm checking the spotlight. Also, I want to add, if your parish does not offer, check also with VR, vocational rehabilitation, in your area that they may offer that as well. And Mia Bro says, if my fire alarm doesn't have flashing lights, where and what do I get? I'm also in Ascension Parish. You can go to Diglo, the website, formerly Harris Communications, and you can order a fire alarm from there as well. If they do not provide you one, or if yours is broken, you can order another one. LCD does not provide fire alarms. Okay, and then Kat Agito says also some services that are provided for the deaf have equipment they will provide. You have to contact your local agencies for that information as well. Thank you for sharing. Any other questions from participants? I'll give a minute to see if anyone's typing. Misty Flowers says, I came in a little bit late. I might have missed this, but where can we get the door alarm? So LCD does provide that, but the direct services aren't happening at LCD. They're happening where you live. So you go to your regional service center. If you live in the Baton Rouge area, you would go to the Baton Rouge Regional Service Center, and they're the ones that will give you the equipment that's needed. And then Mia Bro says, thank you all for taking your time to keep our babies safe. Misty says, yes, thank you. And we still have some time. Do you want me to show you a brief video of what some things look like? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We can go ahead and show a couple of videos. If it freezes up, then I will have to just put some links in. And we still have time, so I can put all of those links in there. Yeah, if your PowerPoint is available to share, maybe you can just share the whole PowerPoint link here, and then parents can go in and click on those video links. Okay, let me see if I can do that.
Okay, the link is there. You can go ahead and see my whole PowerPoint. And then if anyone has any questions about brand names, or if you forgot a company name or organization name, it's all right there in the PowerPoint for you. If anyone watching has a PPAP teacher assigned, they can also contact that teacher and see if maybe they know in your specific parish who provides equipment that you need. And I'm looking at the region names. Hold on one second. I'm going to share the regions so you can get an idea of the different regions. And I see Vanessa, someone said in the chat that you might have, you need to make it public access. Or maybe I can fix that for you right now. And Vanessa said it, if you don't mind. If you want to go ahead and look at the questions, I'll fix it. Am I still spotlighted? We can see the screen there now. Oh, hold on a second, I can spotlight. Okay. So depending on where you live, those are the names of the different regional service centers. You make it bigger, Natalie's asking. Vanessa, can you enlarge that or zoom in? Is that better? Yes, and maybe just remove the bottom part. So we can wait a second. If parents want to take a picture of that part of the screen right now, they can. And then we'll go ahead and scroll some more and take another picture of the bottom. You can find those at Louisiana Commission for the Deaf website. This is posted there. I do have another staff member with a question asking, where can Acadiana Parish go to get equipment? Southwestern Louisiana Independence Center. You can see that, that's region 4. And we had another question. Some services do not really provide services for the deaf. You can also try agencies that provide services for independent living. Sometimes they are most likely to have some of the equipment. And then the question was about Ascension Parish. Would that be Baton Rouge area? Baton Rouge area. Lighthouse. Yes. And I would suggest that you contact Lighthouse, yeah. Vanessa, do you want to try playing the video to see if it works? Oh, the captioning phone, yes. No freezing, okay.
Okay, Vanessa. Okay, and we have 2 comments. One from Kat saying, do we have regional service centers for other states as well? And then Misty Flowers says, woo, I need this in my house. And then Mia asked, what is the name of that? That one just now, wasn't that, yeah, Square Glow. Yeah, that one's Square Glow. The first one is the captioned phone. And that's it. I need Square Glow too. Yes. You can contact your regional service center and LCD will provide that. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? You have another video. I think you had a video phone 911 or something. Oh yes, I can show you that. Well, I know that some parents have reached out to me about what 911 looks like. Okay, so thank you. I know that that was a little bit of an older video, what Sorensen looks like on the video calls. It looks a little bit more modern now, I feel, with all of our apps and iPhones and iPads and different ways to communicate. Any more questions from the audience? I see Kat says, where will you share your recording? Kat, typically after this is over, I will wait for it to upload. The recording will take a while sometimes, but typically within 24 hours, it will be uploaded onto Louisiana School for the Deaf's website on LSD Outreach. Click there, and then the Family Workshop Series. Scroll to find the name of this workshop and click there. And then Christy has just asked, in a 911 situation, is it faster to text? It feels like it would take forever to get to 911 for an operator. Yes, so if it were me, I would call via text because the phone already has GPS. And so it's almost immediate. If you don't have a phone with you, then yes, you would have to go to the video phone. Christy, I just want to add also that the video interpreter, checking to make sure the address is right on the video, yes, but for me, I have to verify my address frequently with the app, so it's already there and easier for the interpreter to right away tell them the address, and you can tell the interpreter even ahead of time things related to the call that makes things faster than the video actually shows, just to let you know. Well, thank you all so much. If there are any other last minute questions for Vanessa? Kat says, thank you for your time watching you from New York. Cool. Thanks for joining us from New York. And Kristen says, very informative. Thank you. Make sure that you don't play with the payphone with no coins. Okay, well, thank you everyone for watching. If you're looking for this recording, I will put it on LSD's website, click on Outreach, and then pull up the Family Workshop Series. That's where you can find today's date, and then you will see the recording within 24 hours, depending on how long it takes to upload everything. Thank you all for watching. And Vanessa, thank you for joining, and thank you to the interpreters. Thanks for having me. Bye.